Huh. The Pokemon community can't be that bad. What the fuck? Generation 8, otherwise known as Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, are headed to the Nintendo Switch this year. And these games, boy have they sparked some controversy. In particular, the graphics and the lack of the national decks have been the main problems. Now, I think all the criticism is pretty valid. However, I'd say looking at it from a third-person perspective, you know, not being in the Pokemon fandom, I'd say not only Game Freak are incompetent developers, I'd even go as far to say the fanbase as a whole is also incompetent. I think the fanbase has been a shit show since 2015, however, it has gotten far worse as of late, accumulating to the abomination of the so far abysmal Generation 8. Before we talk about Sword and Shield, I think we should go over the community itself. There are two main denominations of the Pokemon community. I call this BC and AC. The two denominations are before countdowns and after countdowns. What primarily splits these two denominations up is the shift in the YouTube algorithm to shy away from recommending Let's Plays, which I would say happened in late 2014 to mid 2015, as shown by Google Trends. What did this shift bring, you may ask? Well, from what I observed, the shift promoted more edited and condensed content, and the video format that coincided and fitted into that exact description is countdowns. Were there countdowns in BC? Yes. Are countdowns bad? No. However, due to certain YouTubers that rose to popularity since then, it's kind of become a mosh pit of absolute shit, and it's far too oversaturated for its own good. This all comes together to make the Pokemon community another joke. Now, it's no secret that Pokemon games have mostly been yearly. However, I think this takes a toll on not only my wallet, but the community as well. I think a good example of this can be seen in the the Pokemon hype cycle. She looked me in the eyes, stuck a finger in her mouth. Well, since Pokemon comes out on a mostly yearly basis, this takes a toll on the fanbase, and this can be seen in the hype cycle. So I made a cute wee diagram. Let's go through it. The lifespan of a Pokemon game is relatively short compared to other games. A new generation typically lasts for 3 years. This includes the cards, the games, and the anime. However, within those years, we typically have several main series games. The new generation on the other two. The lifespan of every individual game is incredibly short, typically lasting 3 or 4 months. The competitive scene, however, is still alive until the next games come out. But going off the lifespan of the pure games themselves, the lifespans are so short nowadays because there's literally fuck all to do after you beat the main game, other than breed. And in the latest games you can't even fucking breed, the game's dead by January. Soon after a Pokemon game comes out, speculation will already begin for the next one. It's a perpetual cycle. These take place between the reveal and after the reveal. An example of this would be for the leaks for Pokemon Proton and Pokemon Neutron in February, before Sword and Shield were actually revealed to the public. After that we have the leaks and the inevitable reveal. Pokemon are notorious for having leaks, sometimes awful ones, and it's comedic to see every fucking YouTuber on planet Earth to flock to make these videos on leaks. Because after the current Pokemon games are released, and they sweated out all the tutorials they can possible, what's left is to shell their former selves, desperately grasping at straws for anything that could possibly be content. This is the barren wasteland for Pokemon content, truly empty, until the river starts to flow. The oasis opens up, Masuda descends down from the heavens, and delivers us our sweet, sweet release of the treacherous hell that is waiting for the next games to be announced. The most anticipated time in the community, and in my opinion the worst. Oftentimes the community just blurts out any old shit that'll get clicks, making content with no actual backing behind it.
Another thing I thought was rather peculiar and could mean more in the final game is the fact that there is actually a couple of random sheds that we see throughout the trailer.
Are you honestly gonna sit here and fucking tell me that there are sheds in the new Pokemon game?
We actually have the presence of multiple ladders throughout the trailer. For Pokemon, that's actually rather big, because as far as I can remember, we've literally never been able to climb ladders in a main series.
And ladders, oh my god! The news shown throughout the news reveal as of recent has been plentiful. Example being Pokemon Sun and Moon. However, why don't we actually get the game? We knew everything. Tyranitar Chew made a good video discussing this. This takes away from the life cycle of the games. Next we have countdowns. These are an evergreen event, taking place before the reveal, and in particular where these videos have no purpose at all, or before the release. Top 5 Pokemon and the Sword and Shield. These videos are fucking dumb. It's literally just Fikimon. The only times these top 10s actually have any relevance are when they're related to the game after the game releases, like counting down your favourite songs from the games, or your favourite Pokemon. You know what, fuck it. If you're passionate about making videos, counting down top 5 Fikimon, and putting the latest game titles in there for clickbait, then so be it. If you're passionate, then go for it. Isn't that YouTube in itself? After the release of the games, you have all the tutorials and the Let's Plays. When Verlisify goes sicko mode with his G Fuel. Surprisingly enough, my favourite time of the hype cycle, because you can build up your new team of Pokemon and battle your friends. Only 4 months, I can't wait to bring my Naganadel to Sword and Shield.
And so what that means for Pokemon Sword and Shield is that players will be able to transfer their Pokemon from Pokemon Home only if they appear in the Galar region Pokedex.
Oh, well, who of my team can I bring? Are you fucking kidding me? How do you pattern to Generation 1 and remove half the Pokedex? I'm fucking livid, is what I would say if I cared. Let me propose a question. Who here have actually completed the National Dex?
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, moving on. I usually get to 500 then give up, because there are well over 800 Pokemon. When I was younger, I could barely count to 10, so to assume kids can catch over 800 Pokemon, probably well over 900 by the time these games come out, is absurd. It's a new game anyways. You should use a new team and play with Pokemon you haven't used before. The only case when it should be annoying is in the aftergame when you need to get all your hacked Pokemon back. That's a joke, by the way. Now, I do think it's relatively scummy of a business to effectively keep your Pokemon hostage in Pokemon Home and make us wait for our Pokemon to be added to the newest games. But it's your choice if you buy Home. No one's forcing you. My Pokemon are perfectly fine in Ultra Moon. Now, I think the graphics of these games aren't good, as shown by this and this. However, I will give credit where credit is due and say the battle interface looks clean, but there's a weird font difference when it specifies the Pokemon. I think saying Game Freak aren't putting in the effort because they feel pressure from the other streams of revenue for Pokemon isn't valid. Let me ask you, if they didn't release new console games, then what's the anime supposed to be based on? If you think they can make an entire show based on the Paseo region, away and fuck, cause that is stupid. The games are the foundation, and everything else stems from the games. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding Town and Game Freak putting an effort in Town when they should be putting effort in Pokemon. However, Town is a new IP. They need to establish that first. If they came out with a shitty game on Town, then they'd truly have nowhere. I think that the whole Game Freak are leaving Pokemon is dumb, because Game Freak have shares in Pokemon, and they can't get rid of that unless they sell the shares. And I think the entire idea of having Town is not disguising them losing interest in Pokemon. I think it's just them expanding as a company. Now, it is highly possible that Game Freak aren't putting in the effort. However, I do think there is a bigger issue at hand, which is I'll explain what I mean. They have a loyal fan base, as shown by Let's Go, which have sold 10 million copies by 2019. Let's Go have sold a combined 10 million copies, and compare that to the game, which many fans would say are debatably the best games in the franchise, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which have sold 12 million copies. Let's Go are debatably the games with the least amount of effort put into them, yet they've still sold 10 million copies. Let's Go did better financially than Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That's a bad precedent we've set. They have a service called Pokemon Bank, and soon to be Pokemon Home, which will cost money and are used as a means to store and transfer Pokemon. Pokemon pretty much have the consumer grabbed by the balls. If you're a content creator, competitive player, you have to buy these games. You have to buy Pokemon Home. It's not a choice. You don't have a Gen 8 game? Good luck getting in the VGC 2020. You can't transfer your Landorus? You'll have to pay X amount to keep them alive in your home until they can get transferred. Pokemon no longer have to try and get the consumer. Way too many are cucked by Pokemon, whether that be competitive, career, or sentimental value. Want to know why Pokemon no longer have to try? Because the community allows them to. The best way to vote is with your wallet, and you all did a bad job with Let's Go. If you're one complaining about Sword and Shield for not having X feature, then don't buy it. But people proceed to subscribe to stupidity, which brings me to my last point. Death is a massive exaggeration, however. Due to recent actions, it has just been highlighted how toxic the community is. Accusing Masuda of sexual assault, replying to a tweet about a wedding with the hashtag #BringBackNationalDecks. Jesus, people in this community are toxic as fuck. Now, it is visible that the content creators in the community are in a perpetual cycle of complaining, buying, and completely milking dry every game they come out. There are people who make genuine good content on this website, however it's like finding a diamond in a pile of shit. But even people who have once made provoking, good content are now resting, knowing well they could put out anything that people will watch. Putting my own opinions into it, I'm actually pretty excited for Sword and Shield. It'll be a new opportunity for me to try new Pokemon. I'll probably choose Scorbunny and call it 14. Also, Impidimp is sick. I suppose in conclusion, the community is satisfied with low effort content, which fans will eat up, which mirrors Game Freak, which also produces low effort content that, surprisingly enough, fans also eat up. I'm gonna do the generic song and dance. If you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, bye bye.